Good afternoon everyone and welcome to today's art stream. As you can see, we are back into Tieflings, which are kind of what we started with, so yeah, feels nice to be painting Tieflings again. So without further ado, yeah, this is character today. I think she's a fighter. I think Commissioner said she was a fighter. Anyway, she's got these really cool kind of flexible plate pants on. And just lots of cool elements that I'm really looking forward to paint. So, yeah, we're just gonna get started with this character. And to do that, we are going to be doing line art first. As you can see, the sketch is all done. I can get rid of this layer, because that's kind of just to help the commissioner see what's going on. We do not need that layer either. Kind of checking all the bits and pieces. We can probably now actually merge all of these sketch lines together. So we just have one layer to keep track of, and then we're going to turn the opacity right down, make a new layer on top, and call that lines. First thing to do is making sure our line art layer is set to multiply, so that it will darken what's underneath. And then we have to make sure our actual canvas is the right size. At this point, we're looking at a canvas 2.4K. We're going to want to be probably 3.5 for this one. So we're just going to jump up to 3.5 and wait for my computer to do that. Hey Rebel, I am having a good week so far, thank you. It's been pretty chill one. I've got so much random admin stuff going on in the background. Should already be saved. Okay, let's just save over that. But it's good to kind of get back into drawing one of the things I enjoy best, which is D&D characters. So, getting right into it, now we've resized our canvas, we want to resize our paintbrush to make sure we start the right size. I think a 9 should do us fairly well. And we'll want to pick a grey that's about 2/3 of the way down towards black. Alright, so now we kind of just start it. Making sure that you use really light touches with the brush. Cyber Spectre, yeah, this character's really cute. Just using the brush really lightly so the lines aren't too heavy or domineering, because later on we won't want them to be super harsh. They want to blend in with the paintwork that we're going to do. Hey Lezef, welcome to today's stream. Lovely to have you here as always. Just going to move the tablet a little bit closer towards me. I'm really annoyed. I brought out a whole pot of edamame beans from the freezer to eat for lunch, and they hadn't defrosted in time, so I've just got like a bowl of mostly defrosted beans looking at me across my desk, and I really want to eat them, but they're really cold, and I don't like eating while I'm on stream. The moral of the story is defrost your beans earlier. It's just keeping the curve of the jaw fairly gentle. We don't want it too severe. That's about right. And since the ear is kind of connected to this line, we can do the ear as well. And I'm really not putting much pressure on the brush at all. Probably like 30% pressure, to be honest. That's what's... If I was putting full pressure onto this brush, it would look like this. Oh, Zero Invader, wonderful. I'm pleased you managed to join us for this one. And do feel free, indeed, tell us all about your character. Alright, let's just do the little earring. Let's go down to a 6 for this, and a 6 will also be just right for the facial features as well. Okay, let's start with the lips. I usually use a 6 for facial features. I find it gives me a bit more control. And also, when we get to painting, we don't want super hard lines going on. So I'm just going to check something. Is there a jitter going on? No, there isn't. Just wanted to make sure. You do not want flow or opacity jitter. Oh, that was it. She was a barbarian. Ah, she wasn't a fighter. I'm just going to make that curve a little more gentle. I love Tiefling Barbarians. My main 5e character is also a Tiefling Barbarian. In fact, I think we're playing this evening, so that's exciting. Alright, that's the nose, keeping that fairly gentle as well. Now, coming up here, just going to gently put in the guidelines for the side of the eye. These I've actually got into the habit of removing lately. I find it improves the portrait when I remove that guideline. Alright. Thank you so much for resubscribing, Angelus Lucius. Subs make a massive difference, and all people who are subbed get access to our happy little Discord channel. Once again, keeping this touch incredibly light as we do the eyes. We'll switch to a smaller brush in a minute to do the lashes. Keeping that light. Alright, cool. That shape is okay. Let's do the other side. And then really gently pop the pupil in like so. Might need to make some changes there, but pupils are weird. You always end up having to make changes and balancing the eyes and stuff. And then the lower lid, like so. I might just bring up that lower lid a tiny bit. Yeah, like so. Then we'll switch down to a 4 to do just some really gentle suggestion of lashes there. These I'll probably need to put some emphasis on when we do the overlines layer, but for now that's okay. Switching back to the 6, we can now pop in the eyebrows. I'm kind of like that too. I have to have art of my characters before I start playing them. It's like how I get to know them almost. Kind of just changing this tiny bit. There we go. I find that makes more sense for the shape of the brow. Okay. Oh, thank you so much, Nachtfair. That's very kind. We've only just got started, really. We are doing a line art for this lovely Tiefling Barbarian character right now. Alright, so I'm going to show you now something. Actually, before I do that, let's just make this eye is a little bit too big compared to the other one. So I'm just going to make it ever so slightly smaller. Like so. Alright, I'm going to show you a really cool tool that will save you a lot of time. We're going to take this layer into Liquify. Anyone who knows what Liquify does will know what I'm about to do. Now, we all know how difficult it is to get eyes that look balanced with each other. I struggle with it massively. So, A good way to tweak the shapes of eyes is to liquefy it and just grab bits of it really gently, kind of squish them around like Play-Doh until they kind of feel balanced. Sometimes I'll be doing this for a little while just before I'm happy. In this case, they're not too bad. They were fairly nice and balanced to start with. So just a few little changes there to bring up the other corner. And yeah, I think that's where we'll leave them for now. I might come back and do some more tweaks in a bit. Okay, so we've got the basic features down. What I'm going to do now is just, I'm going to bring down the line of the neck there and the side of the collar. Just so we know what that is. And then it's time to pop in the horns. We don't need to be a size 6 for this. In fact, I'm going to go up to... we're going to say 7, so it's still pretty small. Because there's quite a lot of detail in these. As they kind of curve around. And I'm imagining I'm going to need to redo a few of these lines as we go along. Yeah, I haven't done straight up curly horns for a very long time, so that's a lot of fun. Now I'm mostly sticking to the outside edge of my sketch. It doesn't really matter what you choose when you are kind of working up lines, as long as you kind of stick to it. Okay, there's one. Keeping it nice and gentle. And now let's do the other. Upper class curly horns. Of course, any tiefling I draw has class. And then coming down here. As you can see for this one, because it's a little, the line up, the sketch was a little fatter. Kind of gone for the middle of the sketch line. So this one here. Yeah, that looks about right. We might do some tweaking in a minute, but at the moment they're looking okay. It kind of makes sense you get quite so much side on this one, since it's slightly more facing away from the camera. Okay, kind of looking at those. I'm fairly happy with how those kind of balance out. I might do a few tweaks here and there. Let's just go back into liquefy, just pull these horns around a little bit. So in this case we need a much bigger brush, but not that big. And we can use it just to tweak some shapes and directions, like so. Just so they kind of balance out orientation with each other. And with that done, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually make a new layer because I don't want to mess up anything we've already done. So, making sure this is also set to multiply, we're just going to start on the hair. And because it's not a separate layer, we don't need to worry about going over the horns quite so much, because if we do, we can just erase the lines without worrying too much. kind of got this little hair that just tucks in there. Into the fringe. I like cute little sweepy fringes. Thank you so much, Forging Faria, for following. I hope you enjoy the stream. Do we have any tips on drawing hair to give it more volume? So I would say my main bit of advice for drawing hair is don't treat it like individual strands. I find the best way to treat it like hair is pretend you're drawing, as you do clumps of hair, treat it as if you're drawing a ribbon, and I'll show you what I mean. We've got one line there to denote kind of the edge of the clump on one side, and then here is another line. So we've kind of got a 2D shape that's rotating in 3D space, and then you just kind of put lines within the ribbon to kind of give it that flow and shape without necessarily needing to draw every last little strand. And if you treat kind of individual sections of hair like ribbons rather than hair, I find it helps build volume a lot better. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's something that hair really is something similar to clothing folds and fabric that comes with time and reference. It's really difficult to do. And it took me forever to kind of get to a point where I was somewhat happy with it. Even now, there's a lot I want to improve. No artist is ever fully happy with what they do, but that's just the way of it. Alright, so with that kind of top done, we can carry on. I'm going to start on the left, like I often do with hair, and then we'll progress to the right once we've got the left all kind of worked out. Often I also find it's good to use long, loose strokes rather than trying to be overly careful with it. Really, I'm not using too much direction. I'm just doing fairly quick movements to try and get the smooth stroke. I find if I spend too long on a line like this, it ends up looking kind of, you got the little wobbles in there. And I know there's stuff in Clip Studio Paint that can fix that, so that's great, but Photoshop I haven't found a way to fix rumbly lines without it looking too kind of machine generated. Means you are kind of I've got one hand hovering over Control Z to correct things and mess things around. But there's a plug. Interesting. I'll have to give that plugin a check. See if I like it. And then we've got a large kind of lock of hair that's coming down over the chest, so let's pop that in. Thank you so much, the Rodania Chronicles, for following. I hope you enjoy the stream. So a lot of these lines are going to be a lot harder to see once we've done the paint work. Whoop, Photoshop just taking its sweet time for me there. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, West Yorkshire, we're up in the north. I'm afraid I'm a filthy southerner. I'm currently based in Bristol. But thank you very much. My commissions are currently closed, but they should be opening probably after Christmas. Although I'm considering opening some portrait shots actually really soon, because I don't have an awful lot of those, and they're quite useful for bridging the gap between bigger pieces. So I've had a few people who commissioned portrait shots who haven't replied when I've prompted them, so I might be making some of those available. Right, some of the other lines it might be best to wait on, because we'll want to get some of the side of the clothing done before we pop them in. Let's see, so I think at the moment I'm actually going to switch to the right hand side and do some of this hair here. And it doesn't matter if we draw over the ears, because they're on a separate layer, so we can just erase this from around them. It's always harder drawing on the right hand side, it's because I'm right handed. A little bit of hair kind of coming down in front this side. I know that feeling. I'll design a character and I won't actually play them for months and months. Such is the way. Welcome back. Alright, let's just do that other side here, making sure we don't come out. What I might do, actually, yet another layer. I'm gonna mark in the shapes of the collar so that we can render around them. Because it's looking like we might need that. There's hair there we haven't rendered, and there's also this shoulder plate, which I'm just going to pull up some reference for so I know what I'm doing. Where is it? It's up here. Wonderful. Okay, so with that in mind, I'm just going to have a quick look at this. Okay, there's nothing super complicated going on here. What I will do is I'm going to remove this line because this line belongs on this new layer. Yeah, so I do art for various other tabletop RPGs. D&D is just the most common one. I've done quite a lot of Star Wars Edge of the Empire campaign art for people, including my own characters. Love Edge of the Empire, it's my favourite Star Wars or sci-fi game system. I've done some Witcher tabletop RPG character designs. I've done a few other bits for Monty Kirk games. I think the Cypher system I've done some work for. Like a few different things I've done. D&D is still by and large the most common thing, characters that I get asked to do, but yeah, I do other game systems as well. Okay, now I'm just checking there's no extra. I'm gonna add a little extra decoration because I want to. And who doesn't like decorative shoulder pads? Okay. Oop, wait for a razor to come back. Just do a little bit of erasing here and there. Let's do this side as well while we're here. And then we can actually pop in a bit of hair really coming down just to hide the side of the neck. And what next? Let's carry on with what we were doing with the collar. Do this side of the plate coming down. Thank you so much. Yeah, so sketches I do tend to go over a few times. I layer them up. So originally I start with a body shape, and then I'll layer that up with like the underlayer of clothes, and then I'll layer that up with kind of the layer on top, and it's, you know, it's like a layer cake. Alright, that's enough on that one. Let's do the bit underneath. Then we added a little bit of decoration here, haven't we? Yeah, it's roughly the same. Okay, now the inner side, I might just do the same kind of thing here, just with some lines coming down. Just to give it a bit of something when we do eventually come to render it that I won't forget. So this was a slightly different shape on this side. But that's alright because it's from a different angle, so. And that bit, okay. I'm gonna chop into that tiny bit. Alright, and we have the shoulder plates, like so. And thank you so much, QuinnGar17 and Sakura Rexasori, amazing username, for following. Okay. Nice, now we can finish the hair on the right hand side, so let's go back down to the hair layer and get that sorted. Just a few more little bits to do, and then done with the hair. last bits here. Just a few little wispy bits at the edge. Alright, and I think we're ready to start moving down on the shirt and some other areas. So going back to the clothes layer that we've already started, we are just going to carry on with this one. And this tiefling is going to be a delightful pink when they are at that stage. Oh, just remembered. First of all, there's a bit of hair that needs to be added here. Lovely, back to that layer. And don't forget to save, very important. Okay, and we've got this kind of ribbon line coming through here, so just pop that in, and then of course we're going to have some folds coming from this collar. A little bit neater than that, Rachel. See how that's coming in there. Nice. Next I'm going to do this frill that goes up both sides of the blouse. We'll go down to a 6 for this. This is a bit more detail. As you can see, I'm kind of ignoring the, well, not ignoring, but using a bit more of a detailed line for the line art than I did for the sketch. Alright, and now with that outer line put in, we can put in the inner lines. Oh my goodness, I haven't got Tasha's yet. I'm waiting for Christmas. Because I asked for it for Christmas and I'm so excited. It just looks so good. Such a game changer. Okay, other side. Alright, we have the blouse frills. So next I'm just going to finish some other details of the blouse before we do the kind of lace up closure. Ooh, certainly not a 14. We'll go up to, ooh, not a 9 either. We'll go up to an 8, I think, for this. let's go down to the sleeves. As you can see, there's a bit of detail here. I'm just going to pop in first, so I'm going to go back down to the 6. Again, these are all going to be rendered out in metallic detail slightly later on. For now, keeping them fairly simple. We don't have to do the side because the other side's hidden behind the arm. And then back up to that 8. We've kind of got to see the shirt gets kind of squeezed in by that metallic cuff. Kind of continues down and puffs out a bit. Thank you so much to Romelim and Doc Alathander for following. I managed to say those more or less correctly, I think. Okay, let's just put a tiny bit more down there, and then we can finish with the bottom of the sleeve cuff. And then we'll just carry on with the arm. Thank you so much for watching, Ferry, and thank you for stopping by. We've got the cool film noir music now, how lovely. Okay, so finally the hand, and then we can work on the other arm. Thank you so much, Doc Alathander, for subscribing with Prime. That's incredibly kind of you, and honestly makes a huge difference, so thank you so very much. You should now have access to the Discord if you would like to check that out, as does anyone who is subscribed and or subscribed on my Patreon. Again, keeping a really light touch for lining hands and fingers so they don't look too chunky. And now for the other arm. Oh, thank you so much, Doc Alathander. That's very kind. I am pleased your nerdy soul is pleased. Not sure that made any sense, but I tried. Alright, let's do this other hand. Right, and the hand. Yeah, tieflings are wonderful. I will forever be a tiefling main. Alright, we have 2 hands and 2 arms. This means I think it's time to finish the hair coming down here. Oop, 8's big. We think we were doing this as a 7. Oh, Genasi are wonderful. They're also a big favourite of mine. Any plain touched origin option is great in my mind. So that's the hair on the bottom and left. What I will do is I'm just going to go over some of these lines on the sleeve because they're a bit too light. They're kind of getting lost. And also on the bust here. Lovely. Alright, so next would be to do the hair on the right hand side and the belt. Oh, thank you so much, Sierra Tuazen. I'm pleased you like it. Wow, I'm getting all the follows right now. Thank you all so much to Mimics Mayhem and Caviar Dose. Alright, I'm just going to start by lining in the edge of the corset. And some little creases there on that side as well. Let's do the bottom part. And then kind of like the ridge at the bottom and the top. And just a little bit of extra decoration in here. Because I like decorative elements. Oh, Curse of Strahd. Amazing. Yes. Love that campaign. I haven't ever finished a full game of Curse of Strahd, but great setting. Needs a few workarounds and homebrewing here and there, but I've had a lot of fun with it. Alright, nearly there with this. I'm gonna just strengthen this line coming down here. And then double check the actual corset design here so I can reference that as I go. Connecting that one there. That's not quite right. What I might do, I'm just trying to think what I want to do here. I think what needs to be done is we need to get our butts onto liquefy because this little bottom bit needs to move to the right. Oop, not with a brush that big though. So, also means I'm just going to erase this line here. I'll do that one again. So with that now in place, I'm just gonna shore up some of these lines. We can add some of the other details that are in the corset here. We have a shape that kind of comes across like so. That's gone down. We also have two kind of diamond shapes like so. Above and below. then once that's done, we can erase where they join on. There's a few places these can come over a bit. Let's try to see if there's anything else. And then there's kind of like a little bit that comes down, but that's going to be on an extra layer of detail, I think. So, next up will be to do these trousers. We're just going to basically do the outlines of each plate individually as they come. I'm just kind of following the edge to give them a slight 3D appearance. Sometimes with very light, frequent lines, other times with longer, slower strokes. Whoop, these are falling off my head. Oh, Romalarin, thank you so much. It's very kind. Same on this side. People are lighting fireworks again. I swear we've had fireworks every night since the start of November around here. Okay, it's the first few. Now we just continue. How long have I been an artist? So I've been drawing, I've been doing art professionally since I left uni, which would be about 2016. However, I started doing commissions a little bit before I finished uni, and I started kind of drawing and painting knowing that art was the career I wanted when I was about 15. So at this point, what year is it? About 10 years knowing this is the career I wanted, and yeah, that sounds about right actually now I think about it. But I've been drawing mostly my whole life, to be honest, for a very long time. Right, now I'm just looking at this and I need to change this plate here, because this most definitely comes around here for this one. Yeah, that's better. thank you very much. Yeah, I guess this particular style I settled on about 2 years ago is when I really started chasing this style. Okay, yeah, let's carry on from there. The inside of the pant leg kind of coming in here. And they're fairly tight, so we'll add some creases in there before we can just kind of carry on down with the armor. I do, yeah. So I play D&D once or twice a week. I DM. I'm currently DMing Rime of the Frost Maiden, and then I'm playing in another game, which is a friend of mine who's running it using the Wildmount setting. And then other games I play, I love Star Wars Edge of the Empire. Big fan of that one. Also, I used to play quite a lot of VTM. Used to be part of the Blood of the Thames VTM live stream. And I've done art for a few different settings, as well as obviously D&D 5e characters. Yeah, I'm really enjoying Rime of the Frost Maiden. I love the slow creeping kind of dread theme, which is always fun. I'm really enjoying the kind of the world that's built there and how harsh it is. But also that there's lots of kind of glowing moments of camaraderie and kind of joy in there as well, and really sweet moments. It's a very good campaign. Okay, nearly there now with the right leg. Aw, thanks so much for stopping by, Rebel. Have a wonderful afternoon. Yeah, Icewind Dale is a great setting. I love the new creatures. The Snowy Owlbear is just a delight. There's a whole lot in there to enjoy, really. Cold Light Walkers, one of my favourite new monsters. I think it seems to be a bit chunkier. That'll do for now. And then we'll take the same lines down this side. Nearly there. It's a fairly tedious bit. Yeah, I've done a fair amount of world building and homebrew as well. It's been a few years since I kind of used any of them as settings, just because I found I haven't really had time to develop the world in tandem with the players. So I wasn't kind of satisfied with how real and fleshed out the world would feel. But when I have more time on my hands, I'll probably do some more homebrew in my own setting. Okay, let's just do that in the leg and the tail. And we are ready to start working on something else after that, which will be the colour. Alright, so last thing, tail. I'm actually going to start merging down some of these layers with each other. Not quite yet. There's a few things I want to do. I'm actually going to use the bottom layer for the tail. We're going to go back up to an 8. Oh, thank you so much, Nightmare07. I'm really pleased you enjoy it. Which reminds me, actually, I had an idea for something I wanted to try this weekend. A different sort of content. Unfortunately, it'll probably only mean something to those of you who play Destiny, which, as you'll probably know, I've been playing a lot of recently. I was thinking of doing a short kind of series of YouTube videos where I kind of talking book style read through all the new lore that's come out with the new expansion, because there's some incredibly interesting storytelling in there. And sometimes, I mean, I've got a lot of people who don't kind of have the time just to go through all the lore books in the game, reading them one by one. So I was thinking of doing some talking book style videos, because I just love the sci-fi and the horror and the stories therein. So even if you don't really play the game, the story is really interesting to kind of listen to and know about. I'm a sucker for lore in video games, and they're just so well written. Alright, so tail's a little bit janky down there. Let's just thin out this line slightly. There we go. And then we'll carry on going up through here. Wonderful. Okay, we are almost done with the lineup, which means as soon as that's done, we can move on to colouring, which is infinitely more interesting than lineup, at least to me. I know I've got some people in chat who enjoy watching line art, but for me, colouring is my favourite part. Alright, there is the spade tail. Oh, there is one more thing I want to do. There's a little bit of hair coming down, just between the arm and the corset, that I want to render out. So going back to a 7. Yeah, I adore reading the grimoires, and just a lot of the new stuff. The expansion is hauntingly spooky and sad and cool and scary, and it's just all the cool stuff I like to read, so. Alright, there's some hair coming down there. And I think with that, let's make sure we save. I will merge some of these layers together. I'm still checking there's nowhere they go over each other massively. And then merging down. Ooh, I know what we need to do. We need to just tidy up around the ear, because I remember that. And then we can merge these together. So we have a nice single line art layer. I'm going to fade out the bottom of the right leg a tiny bit. Like so. Save again. And then I think it's time to start some colouring. So this tiefling has a very pale pinky white kind of skin tone. So that's what we're going to start with. And oops, I just realised there's one more line. The line of the tail coming down here. There we go. Right, we can now get rid of... Oh no, we can't. There was another thing I forgot to do. We have to do the blouse lacing. Silly me. So we're going to go down to a 6 to start with. We're just going to do some little eyelets creeping through the side here. Full of a took. Yeah, I've actually heard of that. I looked it up a while back. It looks really cool. Okay, cool. And with that, let's make sure the same colour. We want to go all the way down to a 4, so nice and small. And then pop in these laces. We'll do the little bow just in a bit. Just going to finish going down with the rest of the laces first. Amazing. Well, I might have a go at recording something this weekend, as I've done kind of some limited VO stuff before, and I really like to give it a go because I enjoy that kind of thing. Yeah, I've been really enjoying the new expansion. Even though I don't main EXO, it's still really fun. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do the little bow here. Whoops. There we go. Little lag there, but we got it under control. Now we can pick up an eraser tool, take it down nice and small, and start to erase lines that are currently obscuring stuff we don't want them to. Which in this case is everything under the bow. On top of the eyelets. Oops, that's the wrong tool entirely. Okay. And with a few little repetitions of that underneath, we will be properly done with line art, and I won't be lying this time. Okay. Now we're good. Let's turn off the sketch layer. We no longer need it. And we can now finally start colouring. So merging down that little layer we just did. Make a new layer underneath. We're going to call this one skin, quite obviously, I suppose. And we are going to take... we're going to start just with this sort of colour and work from there. And this, to start with, is just going to be us filling out all of the skin areas on the base layer. Hey Griffin Blade, thank you so much for your kind words, and I hope you enjoy the stream. Just gonna keep steadily filling out this kind of skin layer. This is a really edible shade of pink. It's making me starving. He's a fancy barb. Oh, that's the colour. Yeah, it's like a strawberry milkshake. Oh, I want one so bad. This step is very colour by numbers. It's literally just don't go over the lines, kiddo. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me. My next stream is going to be on Friday at the same time, so that's 5 o'clock in the afternoon / evening UK time, which right now I believe is GMT. And that's usually every Wednesday and Friday at that time. Usually. Sometimes stuff comes up, but we try. Whoops, there's... Can't help me Photoshop, there we go. Really would not be fun to have Photoshop crash in the middle of stream. My whole computer actually crashed earlier this afternoon and made a horrible whirring noise, so that was concerning. Thankfully I decided to do it before I was streaming. Let's just do this little bit in here. Oh, Path of the Beast is wonderful. That's actually what I'm running with my Barbarian. Blech, can't speak today. Does anyone know, is Path of the Beast in Tasha's? Because I know obviously they put a load of subclasses in there, but I haven't had a chance to look at the book yet. So it'd be great to know if Beast Barbarians are actually canon. Oh, amazing! That's wonderful. Now I'm even more excited to get the book. It's not Unearthed Arcana anymore, it's official. And the funnest part is that I think I'm playing tonight, which is great. My girl Riza. that's all the pink on the neck and the chest. Oh, we got to do the other horn. Can't leave that out. What am I doing? Yeah, I'm really excited to look at the monk subclasses as well. They sounded cool. I used to play a drunken master monk, and she was a lot of fun. Also tiefling. You can see a theme here. Let's just finish putting down this lovely strawberry tiefling colour. This is actually exactly the same brush that I was using for line art. Literally the same one. I was like that until recently, but I managed to find a new group. Well, actually, they kind of found me. They were actually a group that I had been commissioned to paint. And in the end, they actually invited me to be part of their game, which was really nice. It helped that I kind of knew them as well from real life stuff. I knew them from Empire LARP, which is the big kind of UK LARP that I go to before the COVID times. Yeah, Mercy was my monk. She was really good fun. It's kind of fun. I haven't painted a character that had a non kind of had a fantasy skin tone for a while, so this will be a challenge. It's actually a lot harder to paint characters with kind of bubblegum pink or purple or blue skin, because there's not a much reference for it, obviously, as there is in real life. Photoshop, there we go. Oh, it's being slow again. Oh, you guys have such wonderful names for characters. I always struggle to find ones. Mine was more like a hyperactive than a drunk. Just very chaotic energy, you know? Thank you so much, Cerberus of the Underworld, for following. Hope you enjoy the stream. Right, let's switch up to a nice big brush for filling in this tail. Yeah, Mercy is a lot of fun to paint. I haven't drawn her in a long time. I should do it again sometime. But I also want to paint more of my character Reza as well. I have a painting I'm kind of in progress on that's taking me a super long time because I do it kind of alongside commissions and, you know, stuff that actually pays. That's the problem. I really want to do some Critical Role fan art for the holidays as well. Something I could potentially do prints of. Because I really want to paint Jester. But I just don't have time. Unless, you know, someone commissioned me to paint Jester or Yasha, I'd totally jump on that one. Just trim down that side a tiny bit. Alright, we're nearly there with the tail. And thank you so much, GG Level 1, for the follow. Enjoy the stream. Do I have any commission slots open? At the moment, I don't. I'm actually kind of fully booked until after Christmas. And at least that's in terms of commissions like this, so the half body ones and the painterly ones. I am planning to open up some slots for the flat shaded portrait commissions, probably end of this week, because I don't have many of those going right now, and they're very useful for me to slot in between the larger commission styles. So keep an eye on my Twitter if you want to be aware of when those slots go live. As a warning, they don't stay up for very long. They tend to disappear quite quickly, and it is first come, first serve, so unfortunately that's kind of the best way I can do it. I haven't really got many options. Yeah, I've got, obviously, Quietly Frere, I've got yours, which I'll probably be messaging you about fairly soon. But obviously those are the big ones, so like the full bodies and the half bodies and the painterlies. It's just the flat shaded portraits that I might pick up some more of. Because it's like if I have a couple of hours at the end of the day and I want to get some more work done but I don't want to start on a whole new project, they're very useful for that sort of thing. And also for when I'm feeling quite burnt out, they're a bit easier to mentally process than the big ones. Oh, thank you so much, Cyber Spectre. That's very kind. Alright, last little bit of filling in. And then... there we go. Oh, the pink has been pinked. Pink Barbarian is about to be shaded. However, I think we will save that for another time because we've been going about an hour and a half, which is usually my run time. So, for now, I will probably leave it there for this afternoon and put some links in chat. So, anyone who is interested in keeping an eye when these commission slots open, they will be, first of all, I'll be showing them off on my Twitter, which I've just popped a link to, so follow me there if you want to hear latest info about when I am doing those slots, and also when you want to see finished artwork, I always post finished stuff on there as well, so you can check that out. Next up, let's do Patreon next. I will also post on Patreon when these slots come available, as requested, because obviously I want to make sure my patrons get a stab at those. So if you sign up to my Patreon, there are various advantages to doing so. You can join the Discord, which you can also do if you sub on Twitch. You can see step-by-step tutorials, which I've done a few of now. You can see exclusive artwork, you can see sketches and works in progress, and most importantly, when I open commissions, you can make sure that you get priority. So yeah, those are all reasons for joining my Patreon, and also if you just feel like throwing a bit of support my way, it helps massively, so really grateful to everyone who follows along on there. Next up, Instagram. I do have an Instagram. If you prefer that to Twitter, that might be a better place to drop a follow. I also put my artwork on there, as well as all sorts of other bits and pieces, costume making, miniature painting, that kind of stuff. Next up is my YouTube channel. All of my VODs and past streams can be found on there. So do check that out if you want to kind of watch this process from the start, if you missed the earlier part of today's stream, or any of my other streams if you want to kind of see how I do what I do. Next up, what comes after that? Oh, ArtStation. If you purely want to have a look at my portfolio, ArtStation's the place to do it. It's got all of my best work on, without all of the random thoughts typed into the ether that you get on Twitter. So do check out my ArtStation if that's what you are interested in. And finally, all of the music I've been using for today's stream is by an artist named Kai Engel. You can find it on the Free Music Archive, as well as on Spotify and other locations like that. And hopefully, like I say, I've got a few ideas for some Destiny lore related videos I'd quite like to add to my YouTube channel, so keep an eye out for that. So, without further ado, I think that's everything for today. Thank you so very much to everyone who stopped by to watch me work. This finished piece should be popping up on the above kind of channels very soon when I get it finished, so keep an eye out for that. And I will be back on Friday at the same time, that's 5 PM GMT, for my next stream, where I might be working on this character, or I might be working on something completely different. So thank you all so much. Have a wonderful week until then. Stay warm and stay safe, and I will see you all very soon. Bye!